to all the bullshit that is basically our fucking lives. It's sent to force you over the edge of yourself and your own barriers that you've had your whole life, because it's fucking impossible to do that of your own.
It's just taxed. Dude, fucking like $16 for a plate.
You know, there's just things in our life that, like things going on. We find too much peace, so much peace sometimes. When we try to get into our purpose, we don't have the tools we need, the audacity, the boldness, the fuck it sort of vibe that we got going on. And that fuck it vibe is exactly what will drive us into being the bolder version of ourselves, like this fucking Satan fly landing on my fucking ankle right now and just swarming all over my face. Yes. Okay. Yeah, moments of bullshit like that and stuff like that strictly pushes you beyond yourself, that you're more able to be in this zone that we don't want to fucking be. We don't want to be in this zone. We don't like it as children of God. We don't like being in this zone, especially when we're not in it. We hate this this attitude. We don't think that we're going to have this attitude in heaven, because in heaven things are going to be all right and good, and we don't have to be dealing with bullshit the whole fucking time. But it really brings into the dialogue, the concepts, the notions of like what heaven might actually be if this is the way we are trained, this is the way we are amped up. If this is what it takes to amp us up, to get us ever ready, so that when motherfuckers that, we're sent to the dark areas, the cursed, diseased towns, to change them, and we're going to have to dealing with the fucking bullshit the whole fucking time, the curse of that town, the darkness in it, and to alleviate it. And you can alleviate it without even realize that you're doing it. You just participate in it, get oppressed by it, and people see another innocent person getting fucked over and their life fucking ruined by it, and someone else is more likely to stand up. And brings up into the conversation someone was talking about yesterday, is that when you sort of realizing it at the same time I was talking about it, is that when you're telling someone something you believe in, you actually empower them to follow up on it more than you potentially might even be able to follow up on it with it yourself. That like the things that you think and things that you discover by yourself in your own mind, they're harder to believe than stuff that someone told you. Like it's harder to be empowered by your own thoughts than the thoughts or words of someone who knew what they were talking about and knew what you needed to hear and said it to you because they had found certain things like this themselves. But yeah, that motherfucking torture of this reality is trying to push you into being what you called yourself to be called for, which is either purpose or fucking servitude to Satan. There's two options basically. Because when Jesus came down, he came knowing he was going to sacrifice his life. It's sort of the almost pleasure of it, because that's what a real fucking man does. He sacrifices his fucking life for something, and like him knowing he's able to represent that thing that a lot of people throughout history have done, not all. But a lot of people have sacrificed literally their life for something good, and you know, Jesus right then sort of represented that is, you know, the calling, like, and especially if it's like in the name of peace or like in the name of Jesus. If they kill you because you're preaching Jesus, like, you're going to heaven. I don't know how else to say it, but you'll have that peace within you that will probably take you there itself. But like, even if you didn't, Jesus would be there for you. You know, really got to stick by your beliefs, which is the hard part. Not just staying strong, but sticking by your beliefs. That's the only way, you know, someday you really finally believe in God, and the next day it's fucking terrible. It's because it's hard to get your faith active if you're already starting off like believing in God. Because faith is when you don't know and don't really think so, but you do anyways, and that empowers you in ways that
Jolene told me about it.
Satan himself will have to fucking intervene. But really tired of this retard fucking society, this retard fucking reality. But it really empowers you to not be fooled again, and not every single fucking time someone says some fucking bullshit and while they're passing you, you got something to say, not because you had a rebuttal planned and heard all the words in the book and all the rebuttals from someone else that you had this one to pick from. Use it. That's some hollow fucking bullshit. What you do is have that perspective that tears them down itself. The perspective is where you get to. And anyways, most people, you know, they want to try to pretend that they understand domination by ruining other people's lives. The way you show that you understand domination is, of course, contrast with submission, which is, of course, like if you're trying to improvise a song, the only way to do that is to get into a domination mindset, to improvise, to choose that next note that's being played over the landscape around you, to design live in front of the people around you, and you know, it takes some practice to be able to get there. That's why it's impressive. But you know, there's exponential levels of being impressive, especially when it comes to music. You know, there's just certain ways to be playing music or singing. You could be totally starting over your journey of experience and knowing how to sing, because now you're realizing it's more about letting go that helps you sing in a way that keeps you satisfied with yourself. You know, it's not about matching that person's voice. It's not about having the same sound and tone and hitting all the same notes as that singer in that song. It's about expressing the energies within as they are now currently applicable to the spiritual warfare at the time, because you're a participant. And I would say that's a nice drawing of the contrast between your average Christian and real Christians. Real Christians smoke weed. That's you know, there's a big distinction. And like, a lot of them, even like, they could have quit weed and they're still doing, you know, maybe they're better off, etc. type deal. But the ones who at least smoked for like a good 10 years, like, otherwise, like, they really don't have what it takes. They're still so caught up in society, the closet, you know, fucking all this bullshit. I still think it's still fucking important when it's just like, literally, if you go into even like the deepest realms of thought that are important on extreme levels to the whole planet, etc., you realize even that is not important in the face of an open mind. And a fucking open mind can literally go beyond every level of thought. It can go beyond that level. It can always continue being like What is the deeper meaning I'm seeking here? Like what is a truer way to be thinking about this, or what really matters? And to me nowadays, after so much fucking trauma from the last 5 years, like nothing you people do matters to me. It matters in the sense that it's going to be fucking everyone over, etc. And all our lives trampled upon by everyone else, the prisoners and the guards and the soldiers and the hitmen and the victims, and etc. You know, I've had no hope for this shit for a while. I gotta move that stick out of the tree before someone runs it over. But and falls and gets more brain damage because I'm the only fucking person in this fucking town who moves stones out of the street when they're in the street, because skateboarders and it's anyone else, etc., will be getting fucking brain damage or bodily injuries from that shit. But no one cares to think potentially that might occur when that's such a simple fucking thought. It's so tiny. How could they not have conceived a thought like that? Is it just because that they've never skateboarded in their life that they couldn't know that could pose a problem, a danger to someone riding in the lane that's like the bike lane, skateboard lane, and everyone on like their electric scooters or their electric skateboards nowadays? Yet no one's, you know, like I gotta tell these people every single fucking thought before that applies to what they could be doing and what they're not doing, and what they're talking about and what they're not talking about, before they'd ever think it themselves. So why do I have to explain to you everything before any of them would ever conceive a useful, helpful thought themselves? Well, it's because they're fucking useless, and you know, the people who, Anthony Fauci, etc., who've been fucking over the planet, destroying the consciousness, ruining the population, getting people kidnapped, getting people killed, is that, well, like, those useless eaters, as they say, the ones who have literally no fucking clue what they're doing on this planet, what they're doing at any time, why ever. And even today, I mean, I don't mean to go to, like, don't take that personally. I might, like, everyone could fall under that category. Like, I broke down sort of today, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I had like just this thing, but like the ones who I'm talking about, like, they don't even recognize you can find things out about the spiritual, if it exists, if by just taking a magical plant. Like, it's not such a far off notion, and so many people even in that category who have taken these magical plants, rather not in that category, but just the ones who have actually taken these magical plants, they don't even connect the dots to say, like, okay, the spiritual actually exists. Not just like, okay, the spiritual exists as a concept and I'm picking up on it and there's sort of like an energy thing to it or something. No, like, there's a little bit more to it than that, folks. I've spent so long saying, like, it being the fucking dictionary exemplification of there's more to it than that, but they will never seem to pick up those gears themselves, never think themselves, there's more to it than the way I'm thinking about it, there's more to it than this, there's more to it than our general route of things, mainstream or not, or this and the other, or vice versa. There's more to it than that, obviously. They're stuck in that tiny teensy little of a thing. It's not even a thought. It's like it's like a grain of sand in a fucking river. Tiny their thoughts are. It's just like, what? Why are they clinging to them too? Like, and then if only they could see what I see. I pray to God that might be. But, And you know why so many people read the Bible and come out with why so many people, thanks Noise, thanks Satan, why so many people read the Bible and come out with a negative conclusion about what they read? Is because they removed their imagination before reading it. And so they pick up Moby Dick, and it's like, oh, it's such a philosophical experience. Oh, but no, they applied their imagination to reading Moby Dick. But when it's something that's like, it's so taboo, and so many people have already told them, it's just telling you to waste your life not being alive, man. Just stick with us, stay drinking, etc. Don't need that Bible, man. All you need to do is have fun. There's no one who's going to punish us in the afterlife. You don't have to worry about being a bad person. There's no such thing as karma. I don't need to read this stupid things telling me about karma. It doesn't exist. Their luck doesn't exist. And then they contradict themselves every single fucking time. But apply your imagination. I love these flies. And I love how someone's finally viewing now that I just screamed in the camera and went blank in the mind. Okay, fly. No, the viewer's gone. Okay. Think was they don't apply their imagination when they're reading the Bible. If they were doing that, given the benefit of the doubt, trying to figure out what it's saying, and maybe there's a little bit more to it than the normal way we would think of words of ink on a page, and the possibility of the grammar, and like, the first letter of this sentence is an S, and that means we're going to decode this thing by like taking some completely random, meaningless fucking things about it and trying to figure something out. And that's even using a slight bit of imagination, but like I'm calling for something a little bit more here, folks. And you're reading the Bible, you have to be trying to figure out what it means, not being like, oh, this is stupid, you don't have a proper introduction to the way I'm thinking about it. Stay inside the context. Stop only reading the Bible when someone puts a meme of a single cherry-picked fucking quote on your fucking social media page, but and in the context of your life too, because oftentimes, more often than not, God will have you flip to a page that is saying something deep about your own life that you don't even want to face yourself. You don't even probably recognize like that's the situation. And it's just important to stay with the potentialities, like, like this reality could even not exist, like actually as a thing, and like maybe I'm just actually a spirit from the other side that's trying to pretend like I'm having this experience to have fun, because it's like a challenge and it's kind of scary. And of course, like if that's the case, whoever God is, I don't want to be embarrassing myself to him, because when I come back, it's gonna be kind of weird, ain't it? But that's just one simple thought. Just as not being ignorant is as much of an energetic choice as being ignorant. Like you can choose to hate someone who's speaking the truth, and you can also spend the same amount of energy thinking about the potential of what they were saying and how it could actually help you. Or it's a simple distinction of like a strong person versus a weak person. A strong person is going to be making themselves the route to heaven. The weak people are going to be making themselves a route to fucking hell. And strength. That's why strength is the answer to everything. And I think it's good to paint that thing that was happening yesterday. It was I was having a lot of peace yesterday. I was having a lot of good things sort of happening. I was in a very, I don't know, I guess like summery mood. And I was thinking throughout the day, like since I'm not having a bad day, I'm going to have a hard time having Audacity when I'm doing my music later after finishing charging all my speakers and stuff. And so I was in the musical process of things. It was going all right, but I wasn't. There were some people who walked by. I think this is the best way to explain it. They were like, "Oh, he's dying for some alcohol, isn't he?" What they say, like he really like wants or needs some alcohol or something. I was like, "Fuck you." But yeah, it's just sort of that thing of passion. What creates passion in you? As a little girl walks by to misinterpret this with her old man. Like, okay. I did my best for lack of misinterpretation, but what are you doing? Is that a dildo or a... Ah, it's a squirt gun. Oh, shit. You're the only one who's ever able to make your own great days. There should never, well, how do you put it? What even is it? I have never had a great, with a capital G, day of someone else's accord. It was only ever me who was ever able to ramp it up into a quote-unquote great fucking day. As much of a result of my life being trash as it is also a result of everyone on this planet being a fucking retard. But it's okay, folks. It's alright. I don't need reciprocation. I need people who are saying that I'm the stupid loser. Yeah. I don't need people trying to be beyond the norm that they've been inbred by their whole lives. I don't need people trying. I just need people taking their assumptions and using them instead of shoving them up their own ass, you know? Assumptions, presumptions, we need it all. It really helps when fascism becomes people's route to feeling or being special. Being special. Being fascist is their way to being special, and there's going to be like 2% demographic out there who's like, the only way to be a fascist is to want a fascist government in place. Well, what type of person would want a fascist government in place? Probably a fascist type of person. But anyways, and a fascist type of person, of course, needs to attack other people in order to feel special. That's their route. It's also like this type of ego complex they got inside where, you know, they're thinking all these things and the other person's not seem, you know, on the exterior doesn't seem to be thinking as much, just judging them because of it. It's just, there's a different dimension that those two people are on. They're in two different types of, one is very in the cerebral, we're special. They're not. And the other one is, there's many dimensions, so it's not like a one or the other, but, and then the other one is hypothetically or whatever in the 17th dimension, which looks to other people as a lesser dimension because they sort of overlap after certain dimensions in the way that you talk about things or the way you go about things. Normal people's approach of thinking of what dimensional ascent is like is that one would always become like more like a computer or something, more dialed in, more like more quick with everything, or saying things really quick. It's like all the crackheads, all the meth heads, you know. Does they think if they say things really quick that people will think they're more intelligent? But I think it's really just that they have no idea how to fucking slow their fucking ass down and realize you're not really saying shit here. But it's a complicated one, you know. There's not. I'm done talking about crackheads. It's just there's so many out there nowadays. But it's important to look at template of life as something that's trying to nudge you or jab you even into your powerful self, a place we don't like being, a place we would rather not be, a self that we would rather not be, but that we need to be it so that we don't think of ourselves as a fool ever again. Isn't that basically the goal? Won't get fooled again. Don't pray we don't get fooled again. No. And of course, well, in my eyes, of course, the only way to do that is to understand the domination I was explaining before versus submission. Being able to improvise a note, a song, a guitar solo, improvisation comes from a greater perspective, not a plan, not, oh, I've done this before, I've hit this rhythmical structure before. It's just a greater perspective, a greater energy that needs to express itself. It needs to express itself, as opposed to your inner mind generally trying to control the reality around you, trying to make it do the things that you want it to do. You over here, move over closer. You just express as light, and so it would be. True butterflies, true women are attracted to true light, and you need not worry yourself about the outgoings of the externals around you. And no matter how bad it gets, there's always a deeper reason. There's never like something that happens without a reason, and usually there's multiple reasons. If it's just one single reason, it's probably a small moment. Probably like just some slight thing that's a little bit off, and it just needs to be boop. You know? And if you ever think that you're damned, or if you ever like hear, oh, you're damned, or just some type of implication that you're damned, understand that it's God trying to like slap you back into place. Like you're at this point now where it's like you need like a slap, we often get lost in notions of being damned, but it's literally just God trying to get our spirit back onto route, onto track of something greater, and sort of infused with the fear of God. Like, someone who doesn't fear God in any way doesn't know like what's going on. Like, God could just tear reality apart in front of your fucking eyes. Like, that's something that's kind of scary. you know, and this basically means that they haven't like conceived what God is and what he's capable of and his power and what he can do. Anything. If a God exists, could he do everything? Probably. And at least everything that we could ever conceive of. And well, it's just important to know that, you know, it's a little bit intimidating, you know? And so, like, if you can become someone who God finds distasteful, the only real way to get there is to slam some fear of God back into you. To get out of that is to slam some fear of God back into you. And a lot of the times, the only real way to do that is to make you think you're damned for just a second. Just a second, you think, oh, fuck, I'm damned. It will slap you right back on to being able to fix yourself and heal yourself and go back on that route. And that's about all I got to say. I'm kind of just pissed off. So I hope this helps people jog on.